says. Scituate Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting. Thank you all, first of all, for extending the date change, because we were scheduled for last week, but we sort of had
It's always too early.
some personal conflicts that didn't work, so we appreciate you all being here tonight. So I'd like to call the meeting to order again, and we'll just do around the table, and our new table configuration. It'll still be the same pretty much, but with introductions, I'm J.D. Miller, Chair, to my left.
Linda Hayes Kelly, Director.
Russ Paulin.
Leslie James, Board Member.
Susan Polk, Board Member.
Laurie Brady, Board Member.
Alicia Murray, Boss Liaison. Forgot who I was.
Dee Dwyer, Board Member.
Marie Freckert, Board Member.
Susan Gravich Kelly, Vice Chair.
Stephanie Kenny, Transportation Coordinator.
And Stephanie, welcome to our
Monthly meeting.
Yes. After all this chit-chat, we didn't decide who was our secretary, acting secretary.
Looks like Laurie is
No, I did the one before last.
Oh, that's, you did a great job. by
You
the
did
way.
last
Dee,
one, Laurie did
great.
the one
Russ, you
before.
haven't done it yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
So maybe,
What's the easiest way of doing it? You just watch the video and then,
Well, you can.
no, you can take
Do it
notes.
that way, you can take some
Okay.
notes, but then watch it if you think that you may have, and it doesn't have to be every word, it can be the broad strokes, certainly.
Sure.
And you can use the agenda like as your guide, and also for attendance, like who's here, who's missing.
okay, thank you.
That'd be great.
So now that we're at that point, who is missing? Who from our list of people?
Pat Carlton is missing.
Pat Carlton is missing, and Karen can't. But she's out of town,
I thought you said that.
so she's out of the wedding.
So Russ, you can use the minutes from the last meeting to see the names of everybody else.
Right. That sounds good, thank you.
And speaking of, can we take a quick look at our meetings from the January meeting? Dee, they were great. I looked at them earlier today, but everybody should take a look at them. We want to vote to approve them here. Hmm.
Move to accept the minutes as written.
Do we have any comments, edits, changes?
No,
Ross has put forth a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Very good. Thank you. Dee, great job. Thank you again.
Is everybody, do we want to continue to always have them printed for the meetings, or does anyone feel that it would be sufficient to have them online? But then, I don't know if we would have the ability.
To do this,
To do this.
to approve, so we probably should, yeah.
No big deal, it's just,
Yeah.
we've had the directive to cut where we can, use of certain paper or paper and,
Makes sense, yeah.
try to
So
recycle
couldn't
where
you
able.
give them to us ahead of time, and we would have the responsibility of reading them and have one copy here and approve it?
We could do
I mean, they,
Well, it's been this way for a while, and it's not a tremendous packet, and we do always do double-sided, so at least it keeps it down. Just thought I'd
Mhm.
ask.
And with that, we're handing it over to you.
Okay, all right. So, welcome to February. This month, not that it was too busy, because of course Tuesday ended up, I did cancel activities at more or less the last minute, 8 AM-ish, 7:30 maybe. I did hold out, I thought as long as I could, and then I just felt like at this point, everybody else was canceling, why would I? And then it just, we did check with a couple of sources who'd said, better safe than sorry, but even at that point, they'd already said it really wasn't going to amount to much, but for maybe an hour in the afternoon. But still, I didn't wanna do it piecemeal, and I just wanted to get it out there so people had that word, so I did do it.
I think schools were.
In the end, we could have stayed open.
Yeah, well, schools were closed, the
Yeah.
library was closed, I mean, a lot.
Well, the library had a morning program actually, which did get mentioned to me, and it was, people came out for it, you know, we could have done that. But then
The
closed,
afternoon
and so
was a
then it would
little
have been
dicey.
awkward. We did take transportation off the road completely, and in the end, we had a relatively nice quiet day. Fred had made soup for lunch, so we had canceled lunch, but we did invite, I let the DPW crews know, or the directors know, that they could invite them, and they came in. And a few people wandered in for some lunch anyway, so it was a nice day. It was a nice, quieter work day. But I have started, doing the weekly Tai Chi again, which I had given up for what seems, I guess, like maybe 2 years even. So I did miss it. I think they missed the program because we had gone to a different format for Tai Chi, and I just think it needs to be on the schedule. That wasn't really bringing in any numbers, so I just think it was more than people were looking for. So I went back to the Tai Chi for Healthy Aging program, which is a 24-week program in 8-hour segments. And they're encouraged, obviously, not to miss too many and to practice at home, but the once a week is nice. So I started with 14 people, I think went up to 17 for week 2, which now is postponed until next week, so I did just start. But I also, at the same time, started the 4-week memory training that I'm one of the facilitators for now, so. Anyway, all of a sudden, it was too much to do, along with the other things, but it is nice to be back interacting with the seniors, and I do like to do that. AARP is here, just the first week, started last Thursday, February 8th, and continues through April 9th. We did cancel them, well, actually, she decided to cancel that day, the woman who manages that tax prep. So that made things easier too, because they thought it might shake out, some people would come and some people wouldn't come, but in the end it was just easier. But they have to reschedule them now, and we are literally down to April.
Yeah, I know, and they
There's
told
very
me
few.
there's only a handful of spots left.
But, I mean, and sometimes they add, who knows, we'll see. She'll make adjustments if she can. We had, seems like a lot, 69 new members register during the month of January, so we can generate a list using the joined date when we enter them for the first time, so that's a good number.
That's great.
And we'll try to do that every month, so we can
That's
track
a
that a
lot.
little bit,
Yeah, you know why, where?
January, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe.
New year, new.
Hard to say. The art exhibit that has been up now, it was January and February, but we didn't end up filling March. We had planned on the middle school students and they couldn't do it that month. So anyway, Serena's, the family exhibit, is staying up through March. I think everybody's enjoyed that, and she's actually sold quite a few,
Wow.
which is great for her. I'm glad for that. It's not the main purpose, but it is nice that it's a little bit of a benefit for them if they do that. We have for the social day program, Kelly is still doing it, but we are talking with a new hire who I think will begin soon. But we are also talking with and interviewing or having meetings with applicants who have been on the wait list, because we all of a sudden have or are anticipating a few openings, more than a few openings, actually, all almost at the same time. So we are trying to fill those, and we're starting with assuming that we're gonna fill them one day and see how many we can put in there, and then as things open, if we don't continue to have the wait list, then we'll let them have a second day.
Do we know why? Are they?
Well, they all started, we
Getting
really
to the
haven't
point
had
where
any
they can't?
movement, so everybody started together. Again, it's nice to have them maybe be at a particularly, sort of even level, early stage. But they had gelled, it was a great group, and all of a sudden, some things were changing for people quickly, and 2 of the women ended up being placed by their families in assisted living.
Okay.
And that's continuing,
Yep.
I think, to happen.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and I will say, so taking it a little bit slowly with that, because it is, Jen was able to really take care of that quite a bit the first year, and now I'm stepping in to take that, so I just wanna make sure we do it right. We still, I know I brought it up last time, and now, of course, we've just planned the March, April calendar, and then the next month after that is May. And I would like to have, I think it's warranted, a celebration for the accreditation. And I brought,
I think it would be nice, a lot of people wouldn't even have an idea what it is.
Right.
And what it entails,
right.
you know, and it's their senior center, you know.
Well, I think to announce it a little bit more so to the community who may not come in here,
Mhm.
and then also to celebrate amongst everybody who does. And it's just an excuse, you know, three-year birthday, I don't know, so. If you would be willing maybe to help out or bring some ideas, maybe I could schedule, just an event meeting and we could talk about what we might do. I think it would be nice to take advantage, obviously, of the patio if we could in May, which we did. We got lucky when we did the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, it was a beautiful
That was
day.
great, it was a good day. So that's what I'm thinking, and I do think it's worth it. So I had contacted Cohasset, just curious if they might be. She wasn't doing anything as yet because their director's been out. But they did it already in Groton, which had also got it at the same time. And actually, that had been announced on the MCOA, in the MCOA bulletin, and by the State Executive Office of Elder Affairs. And shame on me, because I just didn't realize I should have maybe notified them, because I actually probably expected that maybe with the approval, they would do that. I
Right.
mean, it's a government agency, and maybe they would sort of send that out, but they did not, and so it really should be up to us, or me. So, that's that.
Well, we still could do it.
Oh, yes, we can still
Yeah.
do it, and now they do know, but I don't know if they'll see anything. Sorry, drying here.
Might as well brag.
Might as well brag, absolutely, absolutely. And also, and Jess mentions this in her report, but we are planning our volunteer celebration, which we've been doing in June. There are other centers who do it in April, but we've just blocked into June, so we like June. And again, we'd like to do something maybe a little different, so Jess is considering some ideas. And again, I would like to try and take advantage of the patio and do something a little different, more maybe not lunch, so. We'll keep you posted on that.
So no date yet for that?
No specific date yet. But it would be mid-June-ish. We'll have to think about how Fred is going out for knee replacement surgery in April. So whether it'll be gone 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, it's, you know, everybody's a little different. I don't know if anyone's had that done. So that's part of it, and then hoping he's back, and then usually work around how he might wanna do it, or we were toying with trying to get him to play with his band, in which case we'd need someone else to do the catering, cooking. But we have Amy, and even her husband potentially, so we do have some choices in the house. So building stuff, I don't know if anyone's been here and been in the Egypt room, specifically the banquet room, which has not been dark enough when we do need it to be dark for movies or some presentations. Always sunlight, you know, coming in when we do it. So Kevin Kelly knew a guy, and he came in and he did first phase, so to speak, of the doors and the windows right behind the screen with this darkening film that you put on the window panes.
Right.
So it's there. I can't say I absolutely love it because we're used to looking out and seeing the actual light.
Yeah.
But it is doing the trick behind the screen, absolutely. And the doors, it's nicer than putting up those posters that we were using to hide the light. So I think, and we had Art for Your Mind yesterday, and she said it was adequate, it was good. She thought it was fine and that we didn't need to do anything else for her purposes. Now, that's a slide show, and it is, you know, it's colorful, obviously, more or less. It has to be crisp. She brings her own screen because it's a white screen, not a gray screen, and so it's more vivid, I think. And then she also brings her own projector, and she has a new projector. So anyway, all was good, nobody complained. But I think instead of doing the side that is on the patio side in the same film, I just think it would change the feel of that room. So I think that's where I'll spend the money on the room darkening shades
Yeah.
and just replace the others. And I think that's what we'll do.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Because that side,
Yeah,
when you're in the room in an
Yeah.
exercise
Yeah.
class, makes a difference.
it does make a difference. Yeah, I don't want it to be. So the
It looks
door,
gloomy
Looking out over the
outside.
green. all right?
It made a
It
difference.
looks like
even
it's
looking
raining
at
out.
The
So-
sign,
Yeah, it is.
Yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is fine, I suppose.
because it's such a pretty room,
It
you
is.
know?
So I guess that's where we've come to this. So I think instead of just being the first phase, I think we'll stop there and then just do what we talked about before. He's also, you know, the town of Scituate got a new electrician, you know, we have to send out, we lost, not lost, he retired, the guy that was the town electrician. But even still, we didn't always use him, and we could hire others, but now they put it out to bid and then hired someone, so that's the way the state municipalities have to do it. So now we have to go through that person, so we have to have them come in to look at, I wanted to install the dimmers both in the large banquet room and also in the fitness exercise room.
Yeah, we were working on that.
Well, don't even say, I know,
Okay.
over a
I'm just
year.
asking.
October
You don't need to
22,
jump
when we
off-
had an
jump in
event.
case.
Oh, I'm not, I'm not, sorry.
Yeah.
So we are there.
We approved that a long time ago.
Yes, and we had a quote, though it was high, and even the PBC approved it.
Yeah.
But then Kevin wanted to
Never
get
got
a
it
different
done.
quote because it was high, and then that's took a while, and then
Okay.
that sat for a while, and then all of a sudden it was coming, oh, they're hiring an electrician anyway,
Okay.
one thing after another.
Gotcha.
We do now, or somebody has this quote, and we have to go before the PBC again to get it reapproved. So that will, I assume, be the next meeting they
Okay.
have.
Okay.
That's all. We do, the French Sister City had asked, and Fred agreed to do a cooking class for them as kind of a fundraiser, so that's in April before he goes out. The Garden Club has their annual meeting again, it's the third time, and they do love coming, and it's great to have them, but that's in April. It's an
open
evening.
to the public, by the
It-
way.
It is
Anybody
open to
wants
the
come.
public completely, yeah.
Yes.
So that's nice too.
They have a great speaker.
Who is it, do you know?
Her name's C.L. Fernari. She actually does a radio podcast on Saturday mornings down the Cape. And does, you know, everything from garden design to,
Nice, so everybody should love hearing
yeah,
from her.
I've heard her speak.
She's done.
She's really good.
Well, that's great, and that's a fun thing. The new bike committee and the parade committee and Rotary Club and the Irish Sister City Heritage Trail committees have all been meeting for evening meetings. The St. Patrick's Day parade is on the Sunday, of course, it happens to be St. Patrick's Day as well, March 17th. And they do use our site, so they come in and use the big room, they serve coffee and donuts. All the parade participants are able to come here and sit. It's been cold sometimes. If it's not, they may not spend a lot of time inside, and they can go where they set up their floats or their vans or whatever it might be. But they will be here, and that said, we also will have the van in. I'm expecting that we're going to pay to have the Brown Brothers again play on a truck in front of us, which is nice. But I don't know if anyone has any other ideas on something to either give out. I really did not enjoy giving out candy last year, I did not.
There's so much candy being given out
Yeah,
too.
I just don't think, I don't feel like it.
It's a lot of cleanup.
No, it's, some of them are zinging in people's eyes.
In my case, it prevented me from sort of being a little, I mean, myself, I was walking for the most part. We had some women on the van, and some got out and walked as well and helped, I should say that. But, you know, you couldn't sort of greet and look around. You get
Because you were
stuck with
trying.
the kids with the pillowcases.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very, it was just very
I think there's so
unusual.
many other vans
Yeah.
that are giving out candy, and they basically told us last year, because I marched with the St. Mary's,
Mhm.
that you couldn't throw the
Oh, you
candy.
cannot throw the candy.
You can't throw the candy, so you actually have to go
Hand
up.
it over.
Yeah.
You have to go up to the kids.
So it's monopolizing, and then you get hands and hands and
Yeah.
hands and hands, and there's a
Yeah.
million of them, and you just, it's impossible.
So,
So anyway, we could give out something else or not. We could do buttons is the only other thing I sort of came up with. That's kind of a cute idea.
green carnations.
We could do that and give them to just the, just, not to say just older people, but the
Seniors.
ladies, or, that's not a bad idea, no
Yeah.
kids.
Green carnation, I mean, you probably
Nothing
could
for-
make a deal with Stop and Shop or one of
That
those
is not a
places
bad
to
idea.
get.
Or is there anything that
I like that.
we could give out that would promote something that's gonna
Right.
happen in the Appreciation Day?
Right, well, we could do something like that. I mean, in the past, we actually did give out a postcard
Right.
with a little green, you know, candy kiss on it. I mean, we did do that. A lot
Some
of them,
dates.
but
What if you-
we
what
did
if
do
you have something
postcards.
like written on a large balloon,
Mhm.
you know, A is for accreditation of your senior center. You know, it's like something big has happened.
Yeah. On a balloon?
I don't know, a sign or something.
All right, well, I would, good idea.
Yeah,
A sign, well, a sign, we could do a sign easily, yeah.
yeah.
In the past, we've done banners, we had, we had
But
a float 2
going
years.
around With A's on them, you know, because that is what it is.
But not to give out more.
Not to give out,
Not
it's
to
just
give
the
out.
decoration on the van.
Well, if
Yeah.
you had the date of when the celebration was gonna be.
Right, well, we should have.
Yeah,
We should
then
set the
maybe
date.
you could give out a card too, or even have a big sign,
Yeah.
you know, everyone's invited.
Yeah.
Come help us celebrate our 30th anniversary and our national accreditation.
You
I
are
mean, a
right.
big sign on the
Oh, we
van.
could make a sign as an invitation.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah, like make it be a gigantic invitation and maybe have it be on both sides of the van because, as I discovered, there's
Yeah,
people on
something
both
like-
sides of the street.
Something like A1, senior center receives national accreditation. That would be nice.
That would be nice, and I think a great opportunity. Well,
But I
I'm
like
glad
the
I
idea
asked
of
you
giving
all.
out green carnations to the ladies that are
Mhm.
tending to all the children who are
Yeah.
looking for
Running all over the
candy. Or keeping track of all their grandchildren so they don't get run over.
So, oh yeah, back to accreditation. So anyway, potentially that would be anywhere from May 10th to, let's say, May 13th. May 13th was the ribbon cutting. So we can talk about that? No, thank you.
But I think playing up the accreditation
Yeah.
idea in the parade would be a good thing, because it's a big thing, you know? And we're telling them something that they didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we're gonna have an event, that, you know, having it be like a public invitation,
Yeah.
they should probably get.
Yeah, but this one, they can't get away
How
from
do you
it.
know
Go
how
on.
many others are?
Me,
Right.
I love that.
Definitely should be one of the,
Thank you.
ways to market.
yeah.
So FOSS is also planning a membership event here in April in one of the Friday afternoons, to discuss their future role and how best they can contribute their time and efforts to us and to the Scituate seniors. So that's something we're supporting and trying to help them out with to see, what direction they might wanna go if it's different than what they've been doing, which has been primarily fundraising. Outreach social services, Kelly's been doing a great job doing both outreach and the social day program 2 days a week. She's connected with both, we're both meeting on Zoom primarily with the other social services individuals anyway on the unsafe homes. So instead of calling them hoarding or what have you, it's a bigger picture than that. So we're both involved in that. But she's also been participating in monthly meetings with the police department, which is great, so she needs to be connected to them.
Can I just ask a question going back, well, it's related to the social day program, because, there's a bullet here, new hire beginning soon, you didn't
Yep.
mention that, so.
No, I did, we're talking with someone and we're
Okay.
when it's final, I will make it official. So then the other thing that had taken some time for me this past month, I wouldn't be sorry if they stopped it or improved it so that then I could pass it off, but it's the low-income heating water assistance program that is through Social Community Action Council. So it's a sister program to the fuel assistance, which isn't going anywhere, that's fine, that works, and that's current from November through April. But the water program, water sewer program started just 2 years ago. The first year was very much like nobody really knew what they were doing. I have access to a portal, I get names in that portal. I have to then go to the water department and with those names and find out which have balances in arrears, put that in the portal, which I thought I did very well last summer, I had done that, but then what you don't know is that might only have been a report as of July 1, and then on every quarter in Scituate, they rotate through people's water bills, not everybody gets that quarterly
It's not
statement
all
at the same
July,
month.
It's,
So now there are balances that had remained, but I didn't know about them, and then the program closes, and then they come back and they tell me, oh, we extended it, well, already people may have paid or found other ways. it's very hard to follow. So I've been back and forth with them, I can't say how many times, and even still, they had actually extended it, if they were in arrears through September 30th, I couldn't help certain people who only became problematic in October, so that wasn't on the table, just the other ones. And, you know, the water department, it's too much for them, it's too much for me. And it's almost like you have to look at every single name, every single time, and do it almost once a week.
Yeah.
So, also they said to me is, you know, we're not the only ones having some trouble, including Social Community Action Council. And they're reviewing whether or not they will even continue the program. So I hate to have been a problem. I just wanted to talk to them about, these are the flaws. Can we see how we could make that better or easier for us and the clients, I guess, because they kind of rely on us that we're taking care of it.
And
So,
does the town put liens on property in water arrears?
so what they do
Yeah.
that I only just learned is that if they are in arrears for over 3 months, I think it was 3 months, it could be 3/4, but I think it's 3 months, then it gets rolled into the property tax, so technically it is a lien, goes into the
So
property
isn't that
tax.
1 quarter, I mean, 1 bill?
One bill is a quarter.
So it must be
It's
3
3
months.
months,
It's
yeah.
3 months.
So
So
miss
it's
1
must
bill,
be-
I
what
can't,
happens?
don't quote me on
Oh.
that one.
I think it's if it's if you're a year, like that, so all of 2021,
Right.
if you're behind for that, then
So that would be
goes
3
on third
quarterly
quarter
bills.
real
And then what
estate.
happens?
Then it
Goes
gets
into
rolled
real
into
estate.
your
Real
property
estate
tax.
So then
And
you're.
So
in
that-
some cases, they take possession of the property.
Technically, it's a loan.
Oh.
Hard to-
So
And
then
sell
how
it.
do you get on this deal where they pay for you or whatever?
Well, it would
Stop,
be,
forget it, it's for low income.
No, I know it is, I know it is,
The-
but how
the
is
low-
well, for
It's
some
very
people who
low.
are already on fuel assistance, then they are eligible
Yeah.
automatically. Others can apply to the program on their own.
But the water bill is going through the roof.
Mhm.
Yes, it is. So anyway, it's been time consuming, and again, I'm not even sure it's been that worthwhile. For some, it has been, no doubt. I mean, for 2 years, we've had some paid, which were significant. Anyway, I just thought you might like to know that, what that was. And also Stephanie, who is here with us today, of course, and Kelly will do the Accessibility Awareness Fair, March 9th, that is, and that is organized by the Scituate Council on Disabilities. So they invite various resources in the town, and now it's regional. I think they invited I forget what the other towns were, but, so it may be bigger. It's at the high school, but it's very nice that they're willing to be there for a few hours as a table. GATRA comes, and it's usually in social elder services, so those are the related, maybe housing. I wouldn't be surprised if housing should be. Anyway, so other reports, unless you have any questions on mine. Jess's activities report. Certainly can't complain about having over 750 people in here for the month of January. There was a trip that I think was worth noting. Leslie was a little part of that as well, the annual orchid show on the Cape. Everybody loved going down there.
And the weather was good?
And the weather was good. She is also in the process of planning the trips for the year that people do love and expect, and that has previously been done with Hull, Cohasset, and Norwell. But Norwell and Cohasset pulled out this year, so it was just Hull and us. But then I think Hingham might be interested in signing on, which makes the filling of the larger buses easier and less expensive for the individuals in each of the towns. So Scituate loves trips, so we're doing them, but she's organizing those right now. Indoor pickleball, I guess, and it doesn't surprise me to see that it topped the charts this month with the numbers. It's been harder and harder to manage, and I had, because we could, and I thought, I knew how people wanted it, but now it's 3 days. I have a volunteer who is very helpful on Fridays, but I don't have another volunteer necessarily doing the Monday or the Wednesday night
She's only doing Friday.
right now. so
Oh, okay.
I
I thought
don't
you
know,
did.
I don't know, overuse her.
Yeah.
She's also doing some clinics, and they love them, but of course, she's great, it's free, and it's helpful. But at the same time, we can't really field a lot more new people, so yes, we want to teach them. So I am, even right now, trying to figure out, how do we get beginners, instruction that's helpful to them to jump in and feel comfortable and safe, or do we give them their own time to play until they wanna jump into the fray and be part of the general rotation? Because we have high-level players and we just, you know, short of saying you can't come, if they're there and playing, this is how they play. We ask them to moderate their play, but it just doesn't happen the way we
I'm
intend
going
it.
to dumb down my Scrabble playing.
Okay. Anyway, but that was, it's nice, it's popular, and a lot of people are happy, and they do play very regularly and enjoy each other's company. We have also new foot care, so that's great. We missed January, even though we kind of launched it, but February was filled for this woman on the first Friday. She's a nurse, so it's a little bit more medically driven for feet as opposed to cosmetically, pedicures. So anyway, it was very popular. It's, don't quote me, I believe it's $40 for what is about an hour's worth of care. So it's very nice. You know, we fielded a lot of full classes. We now have drop-in bridge, which has been growing. It seems that more people are hearing each week, honestly, and saying, oh, I heard you have bridge, and suddenly they're coming out of the woodwork, when for years we have not been able to find people to play bridge. So that's good. We are just having a little trouble with the room for them, so we moved them around a couple of times, but that is it, I guess, with sign-ins. We had 653 sign-ins, but 758 I don't know, registered individuals, I guess.
Well, and some of those are the new numbers.
Oh, true, that could be, and the new members didn't necessarily do.
That's fine.
For volunteers, we have a couple of new dishwashers in the kitchen, very nicely.
Oh, that's good.
Another new server or part of the kitchen crew. Susan is helping, speaking of trips, Jess with her trips, so that's great. We're happy to have her on board, because it is a lot. We
It's gonna
did
be
get,
good,
sorry?
I went on a Zoom thing today, it's just on a meeting, it's gonna be good, and people are gonna like it.
I'm sure
Got
they
a lot
will.
of variety.
Good, and it's hard to say we can't do too many because of the work involved, so it's great to have the extra hands. That's wonderful. I had a call from one of the high school teachers who wanted a flyer posted, but in so doing said, well, the students, I teach a special class on event marketing, and the students want to do more flyers and other sort of media, and they would do it for us. So actually, that's very timely, and we are just, since we're just planning the March and April calendar, we are about to send them a bunch of things that they can make flyers for, which is wonderful for us. So that's a nice, hope that works out. So that's about it for her in terms of outreach. Kelly is just giving you an overview of where she has spent her time, fuel assistance for sure, those calls are still coming in. And the applications have to be completed and the documents have to be copied, whether it's a new application or a recertification. And she is mentioning, like I did, some of the other meetings that she is attending. Assisted living referrals, we still get a lot of calls for those, which I'm sure you know, and help with bill paying, both for some low vision clients and then just in general, people that need a little extra help with sorting through and understanding the mail that they get. She has broken down the categories for everything that has come through, so if you're ever, I don't know how many handyman calls we've
I was gonna ask.
received, but we are going to be sure and get that program and that option into the newsletter for people to know about, because we don't want to lose them, and we do have a couple of you guys on that. Updating our outreach resource guide, so that was something, you know, Erin had done for us, and I think certainly it could be expanded on, and we just often get calls where we need to refer people to some entity, and so it's very helpful if we could have it be comprehensive. And then this next month in March and April, we'll restart the visits to the Housing Authority communities. Stephanie may also go with Kelly at least once, or maybe fairly regularly, see what they need over there. And that brings us to transportation, which is why we have our invited guest, Stephanie Kenny, who started with
Welcome,
us.
End of November, beginning of December.
Okay.
Can you give us a little, just a quick blurb on your background?
So previously to this, I took a little year break in between my last job. I had been a residential program manager for a group home in Scituate. And then, so the last year and a half, I've actually been working at the Drift Inn, which is the golf course at Widows-Walk. And I still work there with them. So I decided to jump back into back into the helping people field.
We're glad she did.
Yes. And I love to be here. It's a great team. I think that's really.
You live in Scituate?
I do live in Scituate. I grew up in Whitman. I've been in Scituate for about 7 years now. It's a nice area. I'm very lucky.
And she has beautiful bunnies.
Oh,
Yes, I do.
right,
I
right.
have 3 bunnies. And chickens as well.
But you brought the bunnies in for the social
They come
care.
around the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I brought 2 of them in for the social day program a couple weeks ago, and they loved it. My rabbits loved it
They
as
are very
well.
nice indoor pets, I knew that.
They're nice and quiet.
I was gonna put them in for Easter.
100% I will. I will use any excuse to bring my pets to work.
Bring the pet to work. Yeah, we had Lucille's puppy for a little while today too.
Yes, he did. So for the month of January, I actually made a typo on the report that I had given out. The column that is in the scheduled column, those numbers are supposed to be in the actual. And in light of trying to cut down on paper waste, I did not print out all of
Yeah,
this again.
well, you can mark that.
So we had a total of 316 rides for the month of January. 166 of these were out-of-town medical rides with us and social community action. 10 of those were in town, and the remaining 140 rides were for local shopping and trips to the Council on Aging and miscellaneous local rides. With one of our vans still being repaired, it does continue to be difficult to schedule rides, and that is, of course, we have to send over a lot of rides to social community action. And GATRA's also been really great about using them for local rides within Scituate. They're always very accommodating.
But it is still significant how much we take the rides over
Right.
social community.
Yes.
Do you know what the status is of the van repair?
We do not. The fact that we haven't heard and have asked, to the
It's not a
point
good
that
sign.
now, not to say we're being slapped, and certainly I could go higher, but the van that we damaged is a significant cost. I mean, why they're not, I don't know. I mean, if it was a car, I'm sure they might say it was totaled, but
Mhm.
it's not. It's over 20,000 is what they are telling me,
Okay.
so that's a lot of money.
Right.
So I'm not in a good position in that case to make a demand that we need another one. Now, we could get creative and maybe we should think about trying to buy another one. And that's just something maybe I would need to get some guidance on. But if we did that, then I'd take advantage of that opportunity to get something different, not necessarily the larger multi-person van. Maybe we do something a little smaller, a little different that isn't using as much gas
Mhm.
for the single rides to medical appointments. But, so I suppose soon we will have to. The one thing they did tell us is that in May, that they weren't getting any new inventory until May. And that was the reason that there were no extra loaners or anything that we could take from them. And fixing the van is what do I wanna say, like a supply chain issue in terms of the manufacturing parts. So that's what's held it up. So, I don't know, if we don't get something from them by May, which granted is still 2 months away, if not 3, but then we should consider doing something.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is, but,
And that's our big van?
well, is it the 14-person or the 12-person?
It's the 14
It is
person.
the 14-person, that's out.
Yes.
So, again, it's not that we use it for
Yeah.
14 people
Right.
generally, we
Right.
would do that only if it was a trip. And even though GATRA certainly has given us some leave or liberty to do that with those vans, we don't do it that much. So it's not like we're really missing the seats,
You know,
except
the one
maybe
that's-
for the supermarket.
Yes, for sure.
The one that's in use though, and we have until May, is only 12
Yes.
Because we've got 2 van things confirmed. One,
I don't know, what is that, I don't know
Cohasset, which is easy,
that.
but it was based on the regular size of the van.
Well, I think you always need to make sure you're talking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
I'll
gonna
make sure
say,
I
Jess,
talk
I
with
don't
Jess.
know. I never knew about it. And the other one is, to Bristol, Rhode Island.
Well,
So we confirmed that one today,
when is it?
April. And
Well,
the
I
other
don't
one-
know.
The other one's March, and
Well,
Cohasset's.
We can talk about that offline, but again,
Okay.
confirmation usually means you have a van and a driver, so, you know, I'm not sure if
But the
that's.
size is wrong of what we're advertising.
Okay, well, we can do that, but we'll make sure. Okay, what was December's number, do you know?
December, so I have that in front of me, we did a total of 294 rides, so it did increase a little
So
bit
it did
this month. So, that is a good thing.
Yeah. Anyway, she's got it in hand.
So how is it going? How are you?
I'm loving it so far. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, trying to fit all the pieces together to make it work all together and smooth.
Great.
And I'm really lucky, everybody here,
Not
like,
pulling
the
your hair
guys
out,
are,
trying to figure out the jigsaw puzzle?
no, not yet.
Good.
But we are very lucky with some great drivers as well too, that make my job a lot easier.
We really only had the 4 instead of the
Right.
5. We do have a 5th driver, but
Yeah.
she's been away, so they've been great, we stepped up. And we did just do our CPR training, I probably should have said that. So we all did CPR first aid training, Heimlich maneuver, a week ago, which we need to renew every 2 years, and the drivers need to renew it every 2 years. So it's just as well that we're kind of all now on the same schedule. And Mark Donovan, the fire department, has always done it for us. He has
Yep.
recruited a woman to start doing it in
Okay.
his stead, just because he should be busy.
Are you looking for more drivers? Do you need more drivers?
Yeah,
No, not until
Not
we
now.
really get that other van.
Okay.
we could have maybe thought about that, but not right now, we're
Okay.
fine. And we want to make sure we are giving them enough hours.
Yeah, right, okay. Just only because a few people have.
Hopefully, it's,
inquired.
oh, yeah. So I guess that's it.
Anybody have any questions for Stephanie? Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard. and
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm glad to be
Off to a
here.
great start.
Uh, We're on to our liaison updates. We don't have anything from Karen Canfield, I think she's out of town at a wedding. Elaine, the hat you're wearing at this meeting is false.
Yes.
Good.
The first thing I want to mention is that we no longer have a treasurer. She resigned as of February 1st.
Who was
Yeah.
that?
Andrea Stafford,
Okay.
and it was quite a surprise.
When's the next meeting where you would try to maybe elect one?
Next Tuesday. So in the meantime, I got the checkbook.
Okay.
And all the other stuff that she had, that it's a little disconcerting, so we'll figure it out. We're also looking at, you mentioned, another direction. Originally, our bylaws said we were started to raise money to build a new senior center. And we did. And we did, and it's wonderful, and it's gorgeous, and what have you. But the last year or so, we haven't been that successful with fundraising, and then we're also looking at the fact that we don't need all that huge amount of fundraising anymore, because we don't have to, well, we're building the center. So we're looking at other ways that we might focus our talents, and we have a significant amount of money available, so hopefully just doing like 2 fundraisers a year as opposed to, and that's all we did last year anyway, but we had planned more than 2, but 2 of them fell through. And that's what we're planning on doing on April 26th, that's the Friday tea type thing that we're doing.
Of the high tea?
we're not doing a high tea, but we're having the scones and the pastries that are being made by Social Voltaire.
Oh.
And then we'll have coffee, tea, and what have you. And it's just like an open house, because we have come to the conclusion that an awful lot of people don't have any idea what FOSS does, or who they are, or why are you still around, you know? So we wanted to put it out there as to, we're still there, we would like you to join, and we'd like ideas as to what you think we could do. So it's that type of thing, and that, we'll be talking about that at our meeting on Tuesday too. So, just
Where do you meet?
Huh?
Where do you meet?
here, in this room.
Sometime.
Yeah.
So how are you going to, you know, are you gonna be fielding questions from, or trying to, you know, collect data or suggestions from people that come to the senior center, or from?
We actually had two of our board members met with Kelly a week or two ago to see if she had any ideas as to what we could do. We haven't got a report on that yet.
Jess and I also met, and really that would come through me really, but,
Right.
you know, just some thoughts where financially we still need help, or it may have appeared that we don't need as much money right now because we were still on the coattails of the project for certain things. We didn't need to be generating that, but that said, there are definitely other areas we could
Right.
have them support or assist. But anyway, so I think that's a conversation.
Good.
And this is with their membership, so if they get input from the people who have been involved, then.
Right, and we have, you know, we're gonna be having a discussion about that at the board meeting on Tuesday. And then,
And then schedule a meeting like.
But I mean, I would like to plan to go to that, assuming I can, but I think naturally they should know what the senior center needs or
Right.
could use from
Maybe
them
we see
if
some
they
holes.
were to
well,
choose.
we
if they
were
were
assuming that you had told us what you needed.
not as a group, not as a board,
Well,
when I met with Sue Ellen and Sarah.
no, that's one reason why we were looking at doing something different, because we had been receiving requests from you. So we assumed that you didn't need anything.
How many
And if
people,
that's inaccurate, then, you know, obviously we need to,
That's not been a
Okay.
conversation we've had, so I guess not.
how many members are there in the?
the board is like 13 members. We have 340, something like that, members of the Friends of Scituate Seniors, but they're not active.
They're basically the people that pay into
It's just,
the $10
it's
or
basically,
$20.
yeah, that's what they, you know.
There's dues.
The dues, it's $10 a
So
year.
how many people would you say are active members?
The board.
Just the
Yeah,
board?
just the
Okay.
board.
So would, you know, I mean, it would probably be, since you're sort of getting into a new year, I mean, it would be a great idea to have Linda come to the board meeting and just maybe have her give an overview of like.
I think we
what-
wanted to discuss it as a board first and then bring Linda in.
I think that's putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, because I mean,
Pardon?
the board won't know what they're gonna,
You can, but I think it would be valuable to have some other input when
We're not
talking.
making decisions on Tuesday, we're discussing. And from what I'm hearing from the board, we won't get through it Tuesday. It's an hour-long meeting. And we have to discuss the treasurer issue. So certainly if we do anything different, we will bring you involved. But we are an independent organization.
Oh, I'm, well,
So when I used to work with Friends of the Library in Norwell previously, and they had a role that was, you know, they were able to provide the funding for enrichment activities that the town wasn't going to be able to do. Is that kind
Sure,
of what your
yeah.
role is?
I mean, we've been providing funding for the musical
entertainment,
events.
they are paid for entertainment. but we
And
don't.
coffee,
Hmm?
and coffee.
Yeah, we pay for the coffee and the Persian kisses.
So what do you mean by enrichment? What would, that.
Like maybe having a
enrichment.
guest speaker
per
series or
se.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I did offer a few suggestions to them, I don't think, off the top of my head, I was just curious what you.
We provided money for, the library passes to museums, for activities, like we brought in, I'm trying to think of her name, she was in town.
But like guest speaker series or something. right?
Well, she
Mama
came in
Steph.
with a guitar and played
Mama
and,
Steph,
what's that?
Mama Steph.
Yes,
That you
Mama
raised.
Steph, and she was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I remember going over to watch and the kids were having a ball and it was just lovely. And we had, we provided money for pizzas for the book club and stuff like that, so. That, you know, there's a lot of stuff, and then we were involved in rebuilding the library in Norwell, just like you guys were here.
Right,
So we did provide it, and we had a foundation that we used for investment purposes. I was the treasurer for them for a while.
I mean, the only thing that I'm just on this, I don't know a whole lot about this whole thing. But, you know, rather than, it sounds like the formula that you have right now, or the strategy that you have in place right now, it seems like it's on an as-demand, as-need basis, like you get a request and then you give the money, versus it being more strategic and visionary, where you have an idea. And
that's what we're trying to get to.
Right, so then it would be really.
We really need to relook at the bylaws and the articles of
Yeah, you might
incorporation
need to change the
before we
bylaws.
can,
Right.
before we can proceed further.
I see,
Yeah.
okay.
And we want to get buy-in from all members of the board.
Yeah, because your function is changing.
Yeah.
So you might use the bylaws to then move forward, yeah. Okay?
Yeah, your direction has changed. The
Yeah.
fundraising for the buildings.
Well, but funds are, I mean, I work with other friends of other senior centers, and there's always a need for funding, I mean, because there's never enough people, you know, human resources, and there's never enough financial resources for all the things that could be done. And a lot of the programs that are going on here, and a lot of the guest speakers do it pro bono
Yeah.
versus, you know, getting paid for it, and that's, you know, I mean, we're fortunate in that regard, but, you
I
know.
mean, we do have an example where we did bring in, we do have lecturers now who do expect a stipend.
Right, that's what I.
And instead of not having them, we want to have them, see how they do. We did have a guy untried, so we charged $5. We do that for exercises, you know, because the instructors for exercise don't need to get paid.
But in reality, he gave us really a break on the price too.
Well, Bob
The one
Jackman
we
does.
just
All I'm
did.
saying is that we did charge so that we could
Yeah,
just
but-
about
but
pay for
everyone
him.
loved it.
And they did love it.
It was really a plus.
But that's the whole point, so I think if
There are
was-
opportunities.
There are opportunities,
Which,
a
again-
lot more than maybe would be, that appear on face value, if there was funding and money. So it's a different kind of fundraising need. It's not like one central thing, like, okay, we need to raise money for a building. Now it's getting more into what you would call enrichment for seniors,
Right.
which is part of our mission statement, and I would assume that FOSS, being the Friends of Seniors, would be trying to be supportive of, you know, whatever the mission is for the senior center, because we're the main source of the.
But we want to do more than that. There is interest on the board to do more than just support the Council on Aging.
You mean other?
Other things in the town.
In the
we might be
town,
able to
okay.
do. Scituate seniors, yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Do we have any other business tonight? How come we got through so early?
It's right on time, actually.
We're on time.
Does anyone have any questions or
New business.
new business?
I didn't see the final document of the accreditation which got accepted and all that. Is it
Okay, you
available
mean like
some-
the strategic plan?
Yeah,
you
but
mean
some,
that?
I know when we were doing it, we had things that were already in place, things that we were hoping to do, things that, So I was thinking some of those things that we were hoping to do
Like a summary
could
of like,
use some money probably, right?
Well, that's
I don't
true. I
know.
mean, I did believe I gave everybody the strategic plan, but if I did not, I
Yeah.
know I did just send it out to Russ because he hadn't been on before, but if I didn't, anything you would like.
you're talking
It
about
should be
like
online, actually,
the
that's where
vision,
it
the
should be.
line items
The
of
vision.
action items
Yeah.
for each
It should be on the
subcommittee.
website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like one of them was something about some representatives going to senior classes in colleges, universities, things like that.
So I think each.
Some
sub-
action items,
Yeah,
some,
each,
you know,
each
object- goals
subcommittee
and
had
objectives,
action items,
yeah.
so maybe.
That was all part of the strategic, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
But I will post it on the town website and you can,
Cool.
yeah. Thank you. Good idea.
Any other comments, questions? Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
And a second?
All right, thank you.
Good, thank
Yes.
you.
It's great to be
Everyone.